Hey guys, welcome to Riding Shotgun TV. I'm Fastlane Jane.
And I'm Zone Muse.
Yay, we're so excited that you're here. Welcome. We're trying something a little new, and Teresa is in Johnson Valley, and I am in Simi Valley. And
But we're right here
yeah,
together.
yeah, exactly. I'm super, super excited. Oh my gosh, we have a couple of things that we want to share with you guys today. First of all, the Design Muse came out to Fontana to Autoclub Speedway and actually rode shotgun with me on
Yes.
the NMCA autocross, and then we had a blast. Tell
Yes.
me what you thought about it.
Oh, you know what? I mean, it was amazing. Coming down there, it was actually a nice, cooler day, which was, kind of refreshing right now with the heat coming on. But it was great. The community of everyone was that part I love. I love getting to know, just like how everyone is and what that feels like. And everyone just, it was great. Everyone was very welcoming. It was great to see all the drivers out there, everyone walking the track. That was like a really cool thing in the morning. I loved that. And taking your dog for a walk on the track, in case they need to take their morning poop.
Yeah, you guys don't know this, but Jasper, okay, he's 7.5 months old now, and he's been racing with us since the beginning of the season. And for one reason or another, he likes to walk the track, but he does his business on the track.
Yeah.
I always bring a potty bag, so it's not a big deal, but it's almost as if he is giving and doing his part to christen the track.
There
And
you go.
yeah, and he's he's an awesome dog, and don't judge. Well,
Yeah.
yeah, it was really cool because we did our desert series um, episode for our YouTube channel.
Yep.
And I think what was really cool was having a chance for me to come out to participate with you behind the wheel. But even more exciting, we've talked about this so much that you've never had a chance to ride
I
shotgun
know.
with me. And I got to tell you that it was such a treat for me to be able to share that with you, because I think you guys know I love driving fast. And as you can see, as evidence behind me, all of my fastest lady stuff. So that was super exciting. And then you got to ride with Greg too. You got to meet some of the other women that I raced with, and
Yeah.
see how that was, and then just to see kind of how the whole flow goes. And it's interesting when I'm watching the videos back of us racing on a track so big. He laid out, Robert Bird of Bird Racing, he laid out a track that ultimately we were on track for like 60 seconds, which is amazing, but it's a big.
Yeah.
And listening back to the audio and watching the video, my car gets so tiny and so quiet. I'm like, wow, I look like I'm going so slow. But, you know.
Oh, you could see those gauges there and you could see that RPM going.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
was making sure to get a little bit of everything when I was in that car with you. Yeah.
Yeah. So, and to have that feedback from you with regards to the what the gauges say, because
Yeah.
frequently people say, how fast are you going,
Yeah.
and how many RPMs, and in the front straightaway on Saturday, I was hitting the rev limiter in first and in second gear, and
Yep.
just had to just zoom through it. But I don't know that you can get all of that exciting sound from there. So
Right. It feels like and sometimes, even like in the movies, they have to kind of elaborate on some of those sounds and stuff like that.
yeah.
But I mean, I feel like, I was in there. I could feel it. I could hear it. I could feel that rumble,
Yeah.
tire, that back end sliding out, all that kind of stuff. So it was good. I loved that straightaway. I think that was my favorite part with you and Greg, is that straightaway, just going straight into it and slamming on the brakes and hitting that turn.
Yeah, at the end of that straightaway, what, 20 feet off the track or so is a nice big steel guardrail. So you're going headlong as fast as you can. And
Yep.
the first time I remember when I was walking the track with you, I was thinking to myself, oh, uh-oh. And I even announced it to you. I'm like, oh, driving as fast as you can into a guardrail? No. But it worked itself out in the first run, and it didn't seem to bother me that much. So
yeah, you definitely said that you love those turns, and I could tell, like you and Greg both are just like in it. Those cars handle great.
yeah.
You can just feel them hugging the track like that.
Yeah.
You know, in an off-road vehicle, we have way more body roll, and in those cars, you can feel that control, and it kind of like hits down and digs into it, and goes.
Yeah.
So it's really cool to feel the difference between all of that.
Yeah.
And there was one little fun incident. Me going with you for the first time had to be what happened on.
Well,
but the spin out.
Yeah, it's cute because I did donate with you. And so therefore, I pay back. I mean, it's fair, right? I wanted to give you a little treat.
Thank you, because that was my favorite part. I loved it.
Well, there's nothing better than that feeling the G-forces of when you're just like, okay, we're in it. We're just going to stay in it and enjoy the ride. So,
yep. And then you got right back out and got back on the track.
Yeah. I whittled my time down, and in Classic Muscle, we had 34 participants, and I came in 11th on Saturday. And I think
that's pretty good with that spin out.
Yeah. And Greg was 10th. So it was like a 10th and 11th kind of thing. I mean, it's been 2 years since I've been out at the track. This is my second race in 2 years. So I'm thinking, okay, I need some more seat time. And I feel good about that. I love that excitement. I was a little tired because it is such an adrenaline rush. And I'm not going to say that it was like starting back at ground zero, because my body is to some degree used to that experience. But I will say that I've got more work to do for sure. So
it was pretty good for my first time out going in there with you both. And definitely you can see like similar techniques and styles between you and Greg. And I'm sure that crosses over with a lot of people when that's where you're learning from or things like that. But obviously you guys both did, pretty great staying in that top third of those people. So I thought it was awesome.
Yeah. And Sunday I snuck past him. And so it was not a 1-2 finish in our group. I was, I was number 2 on Saturday, and he was number 1, and then we just swapped back, and it was just a great day. I drive my car to events, and there's a lot to be said about the reliability of my vehicle, that I can drive 90 miles and from our home to, the Autoclub Speedway, and then drive it and then play with it and ramp it hard, you guys. It's not like I'm not gentle. I don't think I have a gentle bone in my body except my loving heart. But I got to tell you, being able to drive the vehicle home and everything's still, running, working perfectly. And all I got to do is change the oil and put some gas in it. So I feel pretty very about that. Yeah. That's an important
and it's like a freaking show car. It hauls ass. It's a show car and it's reliable. I mean, it's an amazing vehicle for sure.
Well, and if anybody wants to come to K&N on Saturday, we're doing cars and coffee. We'll be there. Greg's car, I'll be there. That's Greg's car. That's not my car. But we'll be there,
And
and
what time is that at and where is it?
it starts at 7 a.m. It's in Riverside. It's at the K&N headquarters. I posted something on my Instagram
Awesome.
page, and it's like from 7 to 11, and we'll have coffee and donuts, not the kind
Love it.
that you and I love, but the pastry. So anyway, thank you so much
I'll
for
see
coming.
if I can make it.
Oh
We're
my
gonna head
God.
down to San Diego on Saturday, so maybe
Okay.
that's on the way.
Through. It's on, I wish I could remember the address off the top of my head. I know it's on Citrus.
It's Riverside,
Yeah,
right?
it's Riverside on Citrus. It's super easy to find
Okay.
when you have the address. All right, guys. Anyway, well, enough about me. What do you have to talk about? What do you have to share?
Well, I think the biggest thing right now on the front of custom vehicles and SEMA and things like that is that the SEMA show is changing. I think our world is changing and the dynamic of what's going on with everything. I mean, look at inflation and all of these crazy things going on in the world.
The price
It's
of gas. Sorry. Sorry.
yeah, 100%. This is affecting this steel prices. I mean, us doing parts and stuff. So all of these parts price increases, gas increases, shipping, extended times for things to get built. There is so much like that happening, I think, just in general in the world, and it's definitely affecting the way things are. I mean, obviously 2020 with COVID, I mean, I never thought I'd see the day where there would be no SEMA show, and yet there was. I
Yeah.
mean, COVID that happened. What I loved about SEMA that they did is, they tried to work around that. They did, now I forget what it was called, but anyway, they did like an online version of SEMA. Wasn't crazy successful, but I guess to my point is they did something else anyway. You know what I mean? It's all about us looking to see, what's next. How can we kind of pivot, and keep going. It's not a matter of like, oh, okay, great, this isn't happening anymore, so what do I do? It's like, figure it out, kind of go along the way. So, this year, kind of a big crazy thing is that, Ford is almost one of the biggest OEs at SEMA. I'm sorry, not one. They are the biggest OE at SEMA. Every year they have a crazy presence there that, they're out front. They have one of the biggest booths at the actual show in the central hall. And, their presence is just always very much known. You go there, you go to the Ford booth.
The
It's
Ford
one of
show.
the, yeah, it is really something that you go there to look at. And so with that being said, and for me personally and for our business, we've been building vehicles for that Ford booth for over 20 years on and off. And this year hearing that, Ford won't be attending SEMA and Honda won't be attending SEMA, and now Chevy won't be
Pulled
attending
out.
SEMA.
Yeah.
And it's this, this world's changing. There's this different dynamic that's happening. There isn't really we're not getting any feedback, or there's no, press release as to why, what made them, do that, why they're pulling out, or why maybe they're changing directions in what they're doing. So we're all kind of not sure of what's going on as well. But at the same time, that's going to change the dynamic of the SEMA show, of what we're doing. I mean, it changes the dynamic of what I do personally in our business, because, that's a big focus for us, is that we work on other people's vehicles that are in the Ford booth. We get our own vehicles that are in the Ford booth. So there's a lot of that happening. And with this year, it's, that's already, changing that whole dynamic. So
Wow.
I'm really interested to see what the show is going to be like. What I love about SEMA is they're always pivoting and looking for the next thing too. So, do I think I think, last year's show, even though, it was after COVID, all of these things happening, I actually liked the show. There were less actual like cars, on the floor. There were less spaces, but you could get to places easier. There was a little more flow to the show. So there was pluses also. So, I mean, you look at that and you figure out the dynamic of what that change is going to be in, you know, I guess we'll see and we'll find out together,
Yeah.
what the new show is going to look like. So that really changes a lot of the dynamic for us personally. What I can go into though also is that we have the all-female build, and that is a Ford project vehicle. So Ford is still doing, project vehicles with SEMA and doing that type of, they definitely market their vehicles well and work really well with aftermarket products and stuff. So, we have the all-female build coming up, and I know you're just as excited, Jane, right?
Yes, yes. I've
Yeah.
been waiting to participate on an all-female build for 8 years when Karen Salvaggio actually had brought it up. Hey, can you meet us? We're going to be in Florida at Daytona. And I'm like, well, I can't just do that. I want to. I
Yeah.
definitely want to. And I think that I'm super, super excited to participate in any way, shape, or form. Again, with SEMA Business Women's Network, with you, with Sarah, with Cora Jenkins, the whole
Right.
group of incredible volunteers. And it is my understanding that we have more than 160 volunteers participating thus.
Wow. See, I didn't even know those numbers.
Sarah
That's
shared
amazing.
that information with me. Yeah, and
Awesome.
that's exciting. Obviously, we need as many as we can get because
Yeah.
we can, build can burn through people pretty quickly. We know how many hundreds and thousands of hours that go into builds. Um,
Right.
having, having
Seriously.
physical experience doing that.
Yeah.
So the more the merrier.
Well,
So there's
and that's,
definitely room for
and
more.
that's, yeah, that's great to hear that there's so many women because, and I know, some of them have experience and a lot of them don't. And that's the whole goal of this, of doing this build, is to bring more women into this so that they can be hands-on and learn, what we're doing.
Well, and I think too, there's a couple of things that really come to mind is how learning something everybody's driving cars, right? I venture to say
Yeah.
anybody over 60 is
Literally.
driving a car,
Yeah.
and and to be able to feel somewhat confident
Yep.
and independent when you learn something about this piece of machinery that is a necessity in your life.
Yeah.
Yeah, we know how to put gas in it, but how about beyond that? Check the air in your tires. Yeah, we know how to do that. But being able to participate, that's just really forging new paths for young and older women alike, like me. I mean, being
Yeah.
able to learn that allows for greater confidence, and not just
Yes,
in your car. It translates to everything else, you guys. It
it
totally
does.
does. So, yeah,
It is such, and we touched that on that last time in our, podcast as well, is that it's that empowerment of knowing you're capable of,
yes,
knowing about your car if something did happen, because it's this piece of machinery that, can, yeah, stop running at any time or, do anything at once pretty much. And there isn't always Auto Club or a tow
right,
truck service everywhere that you are,
right.
so
And to have something that is essential to our
yeah,
daily life,
yeah,
really. Yeah, I think it's just that speaks to what the all-female build is really about. And that's
yeah,
why I love seeing the women out at like NMCA or SCCA or Optima races. Just we don't have to be winning because you're already winning by showing up.
right,
Know what I'm saying? And
yeah,
anybody's going to throw shade on you. They're sitting in the cheap seats, man. You're in the arena it,
Love it.
I just really love that aspect of motorsports and how talk about an inclusive community and how, our male counterparts are cheering for us on in every
Seriously.
aspect with regards to the all female build. I mean,
Yeah.
and racing and not, not mincing or crossing over, but gaining independence and
Yeah.
again going back to confidence. So I'm super psyched for the all female build. Okay, so I have a question for you.
Okay.
When you were talking about a little bit with SEMA and talking about the major automotive brands that had backed out of SEMA,
Yeah.
obviously, shortages of this, that, and the other. They just don't have cars? Do you think it's just that they're in a situation where, the inventory has been all bought up?
Isn't it crazy?
And so do you think that potentially that has something to do, or, hey, financially it doesn't make sense because I mean, even with a corporation that is so big, even they
Yeah.
step back and look at their bottom line, right?
Yeah. Well, definitely. I mean, again, they haven't released any information. This is all just us, throwing some things out there of what we think might be that reasoning. But they've definitely, you could see Ford has made some changes. They now have the electrified vehicles,
Right.
that they're really, that power plant, they've really pushed, the lightning that just got released and everything. And so, I think, with this changing world, 100% what you had mentioned too, they're not able to produce parts, vehicles quick enough right now. And the thing is it's not an entire car, it's parts of a car,
Right.
so they're like, great, we have this entire vehicle put together and we can't ship these thousands of cars because of one part is missing, you
Right.
know and that's really, it's like that supply chain and everything that's kind of impacting things along the way. And it's this computer or this certain product that's only made in a certain area that they can't get, and that's affecting, us across the board for other things as well. So
Right.
again, I don't know their exact reasoning for actually pulling out, but you can see that Ford is making a lot of other major changes right now, to what they're kind of doing as far as like restructuring some of that and
Right.
what it looks like. Because electrified vehicles, I mean, that's pretty much happening. What is it, 8 years away from, that's what's supposed to be the new norm, so
Right.
trying to get rid of gas and things like that. So you already really see a lot of those. And then obviously the price of gas, you see a lot of those things happening already. I mean, I was really surprised to see it, all the community that you went to with the autocross and stuff.
Right.
Have they felt like, they've been impacted by it? Because I didn't feel like that going to that this weekend, but
I have to think that at this point, any conversation that I've had with others, you do weigh out what fun you're going to have. I mean, do you know what I'm saying? So,
yeah,
okay, so maybe we're going to trim expenses in one area so that we
yep.
continue to do that which matters most to us. So, the biggest thing is, I'm not gonna lie, it's for me, it's the cost of tires, dude. They have doubled. They have
Right.
doubled per unit, and I have
Yeah.
to tell you, when you're running 2 cars and your preferred tire brand once upon a time cost $2,000. I know this sounds terrible because these tires, obviously it's, I don't get
They're
my nails,
performance tires.
you
They're
know,
nice. Yeah.
I don't get my nails done. I don't get my feet pedicured. I take care of my own stuff, gang. And I think it's really important that you understand that this is where I choose to save and spend money. But it does pinch a little bit when that money that you've saved is now you have to have $4,000. So it
Right?
shifts everything quite a bit, and it means you
Yeah.
work a little bit harder. And here's what they say, guys, is that how do you become a millionaire in racing? You start with $2 million, right? I mean, I know that's very cheeky, and
True story right there.
yeah, and there's a lot of things that I've always heard this statement. People have money for what they want. This happens to be something that
Yes.
I want. So I
Yep.
make
You
certain
figure it
that,
out, don't
yeah,
you?
that I make certain that I still take care of all the things that I need to take care of. Obviously we have Real Deal Revolution
Yep.
that we contribute our hours, our time to. So this is like to me,
Yeah.
my reward at the end.
Yep.
I know that's like that for you with off-road. And so
And
I'm
it's the
not
same thing.
complaining. It's just
It's
shifting. Yeah.
right. Fuel and tires
Yeah.
going
Oh
through
my
those.
God.
Mine are all chunked up and everything. Yours are just
Yeah.
worn out fully.
Right. Gosh darn it. That's what I thought about when I spun out. I'm like, oh no. Let's talk about this. The fact that even if you have the money, the supply chain is such that you don't have access to those tires that you want for racing. That was quite simpler, 2 years ago or
Yeah.
1.5 years ago.
And talking about the SEMA show, I mean, typically, on off-road vehicles that we're doing, 37-inch tire. It is the tire that most people use. It's the most popular tire out there. You can barely find any all over the entire country. I mean,
Right?
even last year for the show, it was crazy how hard it was to find things like that. Someone actually at the SEMA show last year, they display their vehicle without tires on it and wrote this little sign out. It was amazing because everyone understands the supply chain and what they're dealing with. And they were like, we were told we were going to get these tires in time. And look, we didn't. Here they are. Here's
Unfortunately,
my
but here's
vehicle
the
at the
car.
show.
Yeah. Just picture tires. That's
Yeah.
when you like say, okay, I have the rims. How can I put some stands underneath like tire warmers to kind of give it
And
that
it
the
was great.
illusion?
It
Yeah.
was
The
great
illusion.
because that's what we're dealing with. It's all of us. And like you said, like, or it's twice as much. So there's something that comes along with it. You either can't get them or they're way more than they were, last year, 2 years ago. So
Yeah, and it
yeah,
affects it's affecting everyone. And
definitely.
I don't I know you don't, we don't take it lightly, you guys. So I know that it affects everyone. And um not to be political or anything.
Let's not go political.
No, 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 no. It's more of a, you know what? It's I it's heartbreaking to see in our feeds, obviously, everything that happened in Texas. So I'm just
Oh
gonna
yeah.
leave it at
You
that.
can't get away from that.
Um,
Yeah.
it's just heartbreaking, and it
Yeah.
and I know it's weighed heavy on during the conversations you and I have had, and just praying for those families. I received a text from my
Yeah.
kid yesterday, one of my kids yesterday, that said, I mean, she was just torn up about it. So that's
Yeah.
that's all I have to say about that.
Yeah, and definitely you can change it into a political thing, but they're people.
Yeah,
This happened. It is heart-wrenching
yeah,
um to see all of this, the dynamic of everything that happened, and it is we can all place blames on things and start to go to those political views and things,
yeah.
but it all comes down to just us as people and where that comes from. So
And just remember to just say a prayer for them. Hug your kids. If
definitely.
you have kids, hug your kids a little tighter. If you have a
Yep.
husband, a wife, whatever, partner, you know what, give them a hug too, and just know that, it's something that I thought about. So anyway.
Yeah.
So
Definitely.
on a lighter note, sorry, Kim,
But this is what's happening in the world, and it is, and
it
we
is.
have to. It's better to address it and talk about it than to just
Absolutely.
sweep it under. So
Yeah, 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 yeah. And you know what? Especially with regards to social media, we're not going to change anybody's minds by, i- i- having a hateful post or, a one-sided post or otherwise. It's just
no,
remembering that there were, you know, there's some lives that have been changed, and that happens every day. It
yep,
happens, uh,
yep,
like
yeah,
West and I were talking, and a friend of his, was killed last week. The world's a crazy place. It's just a freaking
yep,
crazy place, and
yeah.
just this is why we need SEMA. This is why we need stuff like the all girl build or all female build
There
and
you go.
racing. Man,
There you go.
all the shit that the stuff that I could say, I need to have a sensor, beep, a sensor, the stuff that I can say that is, racing, going fast in a car in a safe condition on a closed private track, people. That's the important part. Feels really good. You
It
know,
does.
it's kind of like it's exercise for your brain and your heart and your mind. And yeah, don't you think? Donuts.
Get some of that all
Yeah.
out.
Yes. So our prescription is, ladies, get in a car, find something to burn rubber on. That's all I'm saying.
All about that.
That's
All
all
about
about
that.
that. Oh my gosh. Okay,
Amen.
what else do we have? Is that it? I think that's it.
I think that's what we were touching on this week. I'm gonna be off to New York next week with Real Deal, doing Babes Right Out East Coast. Yep.
It's gonna be awesome. I wish I
I
could go
know.
with you. I wish I could go with you. I have
And
got
I hope to see you on Saturday. I think I'm gonna make
yes,
that a point that we will be
yes.
stopping by. So
I
hey,
would
maybe we
love
can grab
that.
some footage of the cars and coffee down there too.
Yeah, and for me, the couple things that I have coming up, obviously, I've got another race in June, the third weekend in June, but I have a day with the Motor Press Guild coming up
Heck
in
yes.
Calamigos Ranch. Very excited about that. You're going to get out and
Fantastic.
test drive some cars, meet some new people within
Yes.
the motorsports journalism world. So I'm super psyched about that.
Awesome.
It turns out that I've got something a little bit on the back burner that I'm going to be able to start writing again, motorsports journalism. So I'm super psyched about that.
Love that.
I bet you guys love hearing me write, talk.
Yes.
So
Yes. You have some beautiful words that flow off of the page,
oh
lady.
yeah.
And when they come out of your mouth too.
Yeah. All you have to say is fuel injected, horsepower 1200. I mean, my God, fuel injected, naturally aspirated. I don't care. Say those words. They're all beautiful. Oh my God. The word that I'm totally addicted to right now, Yokohama. Really? Yes. Okay. Sorry, guys. Okay. Well, cool. I'm so glad I had a chance to talk to you today.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
I love our chat.
And look it, now we can see each other in person. I
Yeah.
love this. I love that. I love your new wall.
I love
I,
you.
I got little things. We're both rocking the dots. She's
Yes.
always with us, always.
I swear she's like that little like fire that
Always.
she's like, oh, maybe we're the fire and she's just
Firecracker.
yeah. And she's just stoking it. Yeah.
Yep. Always.
Okay, you guys. Well, thank you so much for hanging out with us and
We
listening.
appreciate you all.
Yeah, drop us a message. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, Riding Shotgun TV with Fastlane Jane and Design Muse. And find us on Instagram. And we would love to be in touch with you. And if there's any topics that you have questions about, please shoot us a DM through Instagram, Design Muse and Fastlane Jane, or leave it in the comments on our YouTube channel. And that's it. And
fantastic. If
yeah,
you, hopefully you like this content, please share it with other people.
yeah.
I love doing this with Jane. We love horsepower and just being the people we are, you know? So,
Yes. I have a question that this came up. I don't know if I
okay.
said this to you. My dog is so fast. How come it's horsepower and not dog power?
Because I don't ride my dog. I ride a horse.
There you go. It was a riddle, and now I know the answer. I freaking love that. Why don't we call it dog power? I mean, babies will ride dogs, but I'm like, my dog is so flippin' fast. It's insane. Now I know.
Like greyhounds, huh?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Right. How many greyhounds? Jiminy Christmas. I'm sorry, you guys. Love you, people.
It's okay. We sometimes need those moments, don't we?
Oh, this is what makes life so good.
It does. I agree.
You know, I was a dork in elementary school. And I think
Still
really
a dork.
exactly, but somehow I'm not saying exactly you, but I'm still a dork. And I'm not really sure how at my age now it's more acceptable than it was when I was in elementary school. So I don't know. Okay, I don't want
I know, huh? I don't know if that's I don't know if it was cool then or cool now or not or whatever.
it wasn't cool then. I wasn't cool then. I'm not saying I'm cool now. And I don't need y'all sending me any shady comments.
Oh,
Just love me. That's all. Okay,
just love me. I
just
like
love
that.
me. Okay, I love you.
I love you.
Okay. Thanks, guys. Bye.
My lady.
Mm, mm, I don't know where to put it. Here? Boom.
Mm.
I did
Right
it.
there. Go. We'll both
Oh,
do it.
oh.
We're like Wonder Woman.
I'm like,
Oh.
where? Oh. Oh my God. Okay. Peace out, guys.
Yay. See you,
Bye.
lady.